Hello everybody, what's the crack? How's it going? Come on in, have a seat. So basically I'm talking to you from my new camera. And this new camera I'm going to use specifically for YouTube and vlogging because I've been on YouTube for like almost a year now, but I've been so inconsistent. But I think that's because I've been doing everything on my phone and I've been balancing like doing content for TikTok and filming everything in portrait, but then thinking, oh, I need to do stuff for YouTube, and then I have all these videos that are also in landscape, and to me it's been too much admin. But this camera is now for YouTube specifically, so I have no excuse now. I have no excuse. So to celebrate getting my new camera, I thought that we could do a Q&A. So I put a thing up on Instagram and I also put a thing up on TikTok, I think, just to send in some talking points, send in some questions, and that's what we're going to work through in this video. So here we go, buckle up. I think we'll go to Instagram first. Okay, when did you decide you wanted to be a performer? Realistically, I'm going to say I was about 9 or 10. And I think I've spoken about this before, but those TV shows that happened back in the day that they did on ITV to find the new Nancy and Oliver in the new West End production of Oliver, to find the new Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz, like those TV shows, for me that was kind of like my first exposure into musical theatre because I didn't come from a theatrical family. We weren't a theatre family. I think I knew the movie Grease and that was about it. So those TV shows was my first time hearing songs from Wicked and Jesus Christ Superstar, and you know, hearing this big dramatic music for the first time. So when I watched those shows, I was like, whoa, what is this? And the concept of winning a show where you could go do that thing as your job, the whole thing was just so bizarre to me. But I was like, I like it though, like I like the sound of it. And then when I was 10, I went to kind of a theatre camp where they did everything with us. It was Shakespeare, mime, improvisation, comedy, singing, dancing. They did everything. And I ended up going to that camp every year for like 7 years. And it's kind of when I started going there when I was like 10 that I think that's when I thought, oh, I love this. I'm not very good at it, but I think I could get good at it. And then in between those summers, I started to do more throughout the year. So then I joined an Amdram Society and became obsessed. And then by the time I was 17 or 18, I was part of like 3 or 4 different Amdram Societies. And I also joined a dance team back home. So I was competing with them. And, you know, by the time I was 18 and getting ready to go to drama school, I was so immersed in it. And like my entire life was based around dance competitions, going to dancing in the evenings, the show I was in at the time, because I was always in a show somewhere. So yeah, it was just completely obsessed, but it was a gradual kind of thing. Became interested in musical theatre when I was about 8 or 9 through those TV shows and kind of immersed myself in it a bit more, and then started actively doing things to see what if I was any good when I was around 10, and then just gradually became more and more obsessed. And then by the time I was like 14 or 15, I was kind of like, this is all I want to do. Like I refuse to even think about doing anything else. But yeah, I decided when I think I was about 10, I'm going to say 10. UK drama school ranking. I don't think this is a thing, to be completely honest. And I say that now as someone who has a lot more of a grip on reality, I think. But when I was first auditioning for drama schools, and also when I was in drama school, the idea of where you went to drama school really impacting whether or not you would work, it felt like much more of a thing back then. I don't think it's as much of a thing now. Firstly, because of how many drama schools there are, but then secondly, there's just so many good schools now. And you know, I think 10 years ago, it was kind of the messaging that was put across to me was that unless you were going to Arts Ed, Mount Few or Guildford School of Acting, they were spoken about as if they were the top 3 kind of 10 years ago. When I was getting to know about auditioning and things like that, it was put across to me that unless you were going to one of those schools, you weren't going to work, period. Which is obviously not true. but it meant that when I went to Trinity Laban, which is definitely more of an underdog school, or at least felt like an underdog school at the time, I was made to feel very, very insecure about where I was going to drama school because, again, all I had been told was that I wasn't in the top three and therefore was never going to work. But it's lovely to be out the other side now and see how little it matters where I went. And I think the longer you're out of drama school, the less and less it means. I think it maybe has more of an impact on your success rate or how busy you are maybe in your first year or two, just because a lot of agents maybe have a preference for where they take people from. But the longer you're out of drama school, I think the less it matters. And especially now, like I've been out of drama school, when did I graduate? 2020, and it's almost now 2026. I feel like where I went to drama school is not really ever in the conversation anymore. And it's nothing to do with how people view me. People now look at the credits I have, or they watch me on TikTok, or like there's a lot of other reference points that people have for me now. And it's nothing to do with where I went to drama school. So yeah, the UK, sorry, I know I didn't answer the question, but UK drama school ranking, I don't believe that to be a thing. I think every school has great things and every school has shit things, and every school produces great people and not so good people. Because I have been to many drama school showcases, many drama school panel days, many third year shows in what people have deemed as the best schools, and there have been plenty of people who I didn't think were very good. There are plenty of them, you know. But then I've went to one of, you know, the not so good schools, and there have been unbelievable people. So yeah, I don't think this is a thing anymore, personally. What's your go-to set of audition songs? Ooh, I feel like I used to have the same couple of songs on rotation. Like Heaven in Their Minds was a heavy hitter for me back in the day. I also used to do a song from On the Town. What was it? Lucky to Be Me from On the Town. That was like my go-to legit song. And what else did I used to do? I feel like I was one of those people that used to be so anal about what they were asking for in the audition brief. So if they said to me, you know, we want pre-1965, blah, 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 I would get so picky about exactly what they've asked for. And I would end up singing a song that, although it was perfect and it matched exactly what they said they wanted, it wasn't a song that actually showed me off in any way. And I would always walk out of those auditions thinking to myself, oh, I wish I would have just sang a song I liked. And a song I already know and a song I'm good at, you know what I mean? And that's another thing. I think the longer you're out of drama school, the less songs you have, because you realise you don't need 15 songs in your rep. And now I kind of have the same 3 songs that I sing for every audition. And yeah. So yeah, I have songs that used to be on rotation. But yeah, I think it's just all about having songs that like work for you. You know what I mean? What are you most excited for in Moment by Moment? Oh! So, if anybody didn't see, I am involved in a new movie musical called Moment by Moment, which is a song cycle written by Alexander St. John. And this movie musical is going to be coming out next year, I think like spring 2026. But we've been working on Moment by Moment for well over a year now. We did the original workshop in August 2024. And there was only 7 of us in the cast. And then by the time we started filming, I think in like March 2025, the cast had almost doubled and there's more songs and it's taken on a new life. And as of right now, I think everything is done in terms of filming. I think we wrapped all our filming by September 2025. There might be a couple of reshoots here or there, but our job is kind of done. But what am I most excited for? Oh, I think I'm most excited for people to hear the music, because the music is really good. And the thing about it is, this cast album for Moment by Moment has existed for like 10 years. Because they did a cast recording of all New York City based actors years ago. and this music has kind of existed, and a lot of boys sing a particular song in the song cycle called Belief. So a lot of theatre kids, like diehard theatre kids, and especially theatre kids in the New York scene, will know this music really, really well. But I'm just excited for more people to hear it and for it to become more popular within like more mainstream musical theatre canon. And because the music is so good, and like the songs I get to sing in this, I am definitely gonna keep those songs and bring them into auditions and do lots of things with them, because I'm like, this music is so good. The music is so good. And Alex, who wrote the music, he had a concert happen in London last night, Rome. He wrote all the music to that as well. So Alex is like prolific within, musical theatre writing already. So yeah, it was just really nice to work with him. And yeah, I'm excited for people to hear the music, I think. Who would have been your Wicked movie cast, picking from celebs or UK MT stars? Oh, okay. We'll keep Ariana and Cynthia, absolutely, and Jonathan Bailey, obviously. Michelle Yeoh, from the get-go, I have not agreed with that choice, shall we say. I think Hannah Waddingham was the most perfect and obvious choice. I think had we had someone like Hannah, there could have been an amazing song added for Morrible in the second movie. I think that's what the second movie could have really done with, because I didn't personally love the new songs that were written for Cynthia and Ariana. But I think a Morrible song could have really kept things moving. What is the best way to learn lines in a few days? Oh, okay. So when I'm learning lines, I always have to voice record the scene into my phone, but I will say the lines of the other characters in the scene and then leave long enough gaps for where I'm talking. So then I can just drill it that way and always have the other lines being fed back to me. And having the other lines fed back to me, that is the only way I can then drill my lines into my head. I'm someone that really, really struggles to just sit in silence and look at a script and not have the receiving end of the conversation coming at me. So I always do that in my voice app on my phone. And then also what I would highly recommend doing is cramming as much as you can the first night that you're learning everything, especially if you do have multiple nights to learn it, because I find in my experience the best and most effective thing for retaining material is a night's sleep. And even if you are like cramming and it feels like it's not going in, go to bed. And then the next day, it is sometimes unbelievable how much you've been able to retain. So if you have, let's say, 3 days to learn something, I would say cram everything on day one, and to the point where you are convinced that like it's just not going in, and then go to bed. The next day, most of it, I promise you, will be in there. And then drill it again the next day. So then by day 3, it is so in there. You don't need to think about it again. It's there. If you could only watch 3 musicals for the rest of your life, what would they be? Oh, okay. Definitely Come From Away. Come From Away is the show I have seen the most. I've seen it 8 times. And I never get bored of it. It is probably my favorite show. So Come From Away, definitely. One of my other top 3 shows is Death Becomes Her, and I think I could definitely sit through that many more times. I've seen it twice, but I could definitely sit through that plenty more times. So Death Becomes Her. One of my other top 3 shows is Rent, but when I think about the shows that I've seen live, a show that I've seen almost as many times as Come From Away is Dreamgirls, and I think if I had to just watch 3 musicals for the rest of my life, I think Dreamgirls is up there for sure. So yeah, Death Becomes Her, Come From Away, Dreamgirls. They're my 3. What things should you be doing before the drama school stage? I mean, whatever you can accommodate. It's all well and good to say, oh, you need to be getting to singing lessons and you need to be getting to dance classes and you need to be doing like all this stuff. Some people don't have the money, or some people live in the asshole of nowhere and you don't have the means to do that stuff. Obviously, if you can get to a singing lesson and you can get to a dance class and you can go see theatre and you can immerse yourself in theatre and you can go to Amdram, then absolutely do it. But I think start small if you are someone that can't easily access that stuff. And watch theatre, watch bootlegs, listen to cast recordings. Like, it's so different now, and there's so much online. I just think immerse yourself in it and just do what you're able to accommodate. And if you can get to a dance class or you can do singing lessons, then absolutely do that, you know? Oh, we have a long one. I'm genuinely shitting bricks for the drama school auditions this year because I do not want to take a gap year because I feel like I'll just be sat at home doing nothing if I don't get in anywhere. And all of this on top of my A levels, it's not okay. Um, I wouldn't, I wouldn't fear a gap year because as someone who I took a gap year, and I think, you know, as someone who went to drama school with people who were a combination of ages, I went, you know, in my year there were people who were older, had maybe done a foundation year or had done a gap year, then done a foundation year, or had been out for a couple of years. And then there was also people who came straight from school. I myself could notice a massive difference in those people and the people who came straight from school versus the people who had lived a bit more life. And it wasn't a good difference or a bad difference, it was just a difference. And I often find that you only benefit from having a little bit more life experience going into drama school. So I think don't demonize the idea of taking a gap year or taking two or taking three or taking 10. You know what I mean? Because I think the more life you have lived as a person, like a normal person, the more it benefits your mental, I think, stability as a performer. Whereas if you get into drama school straight away without like living life, your life just becomes this thing. But then it means that when you're inevitably out of work, you don't know how to cope because you have equated like the quality of your life to being in work and being a performer. But I think you should prioritize the unemployed, non-performing version of yourself. Because unfortunately that is the version of yourself you're gonna have to spend the most time with. So yeah, don't shit on a gap year. I loved my gap year. What would you consider to be your number one dream show? Jesus Christ Superstar! Just let me do it. It's like anybody. You know what, it doesn't even need to be on the West End. Like if Bexley Heath Rugby Club were putting a production on, like I'm there with bells on. Let me do it. Jesus Christ Superstar. Final answer. In regards to your own career, what do you think is next for you and what would you like to do next? Okay, let's get into it. I would love to be able to say what I'm going to do next. Annoyingly, when you're a performer, like pretty much none of that is in your control and you need to wait for other people to give you that opportunity. So in regards to what's next for me, I have no idea. In terms of what I would like to do next, I'm kind of at a point where I feel like I've been lucky in the sense that I've got to do a lot of the other stuff. So when people think of, you know, the jobs that you can do, they think, okay, West End, that's like, you know, top of the pyramid, let's say. And then you have like number one UK tour. But then you have all the other stuff. So you have like Punto and you have cruise ship and you have smaller tours and you, like all this type of stuff. And I feel like I've been lucky in the sense that I got to do a lot of the other stuff. I got to like get it out of the way really quickly. So I got to do like a really short panto, shall we say, in the West End. Then I got to do Choir of Man on the cruise ship, so that ticked the cruise ship box off. And then I got taken to Australia with Choir of Man, so then I got to do like an international contract, tick that off. I also did like a short UK tour and like a Frankie Valli thing, so like a short UK tour, great. Then I went back to the West End to do another week of panto. So like I've got to do a lot of the other stuff. You know what I mean? And like I've done so many concerts and I've done so many concerts. Like I've had more concerts than hot dinners. So I feel very kind of accomplished in regards to like the cabaret circuit, shall we say. And I'm at a point now where I feel like in order to progress, would love for the next thing to be like a UK tour or a West End credit. Like that would be nice. And I feel like in order for me to be taken seriously, I think that's what I need to do next. Even in regards to teaching and stuff, like I'm really proud of the jobs I've done, but when it comes to teaching and doing workshops and things like that, I still don't feel like I have enough credentials behind me to justify being someone that a drama school would want to hire to come in and teach or do workshops. So I feel like in order to get to that point, I now need like a number one UK tour or West End credit. That's kind of where I'm at. And for that reason, I'm a lot pickier with what I'm going in for these days and what I want to do. And like there was a conversation last week that I had where I was half tempted to put myself in for Come From Away, because Come From Away is now on the Cunard ships. Because it's Come From Away and it's my favourite show, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do a cruise ship again, but I kind of ultimately decided that I wasn't going to audition for it in the end, because it's just not what I'm interested in doing right now. And I also have a dog, and I don't like my dog, but yeah, I'm interested in like focusing on career progression right now and kind of aiming towards the credits that I want now, you know. Not to say that I won't go back to working on cruise ships. I think, you know, these things always come back round. But right now the priority I would love to do something in London. And even I went to see Ride the Cyclone last week in Southwark Playhouse. Like even something like that, getting to do a new quirky musical at Southwark Playhouse off West End, like something like that. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. So yeah, it's just throwing shit at the wall and waiting for something to stick, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know what's next. Your guess is as good as mine. But I think it's good for everyone to keep yourself busy. That's why I love TikTok and I love YouTube and I love writing my own shows, and I love just doing all my own bits to keep me artistically fulfilled, I suppose, because it means that, you know, if that big West End job or that big UK tour job doesn't come for another 6 months, 6 years, I'm not sitting doing nothing, and I'm not sitting twiddling my thumbs waiting for someone else to give me something. I think there's a lot of stuff we can do off our own back, which I have done, and I'm very proud of that. And I'll keep doing that until someone gives me a job. Jesus Christ Superstar. Jesus Christ Superstar. And I think that is all the questions. Well, that was fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for sending in a question. Greatly appreciated. This video is my promise to now be more consistent with YouTube. And I now have this very expensive camera that was gifted to me by Louis. Thank you, Louis. So I have no excuse to not do more YouTube videos now. So if you have any videos that you would like to see, please let me know. Please give me a wee comment, because I need all the help I can get. Obviously, like and subscribe, please. I would love to get to 500 followers. ASAP Rocky. I think I'm on like 360 or something like that right now. So yeah, I would love to get to 500. I would love to get to 500 by like the end of the year. I think that might be a bit ambitious, because the process of growing on YouTube seems to be a slow burner. But yeah, let's get to 500. But yeah, thank you for the questions. Thank you for being so lovely. And yeah, see you soon. Subscribe. Love you. See you later. Bye. See you later. Look at the quality of this camera. My God. God, wrinkle, little star. You know what I'm saying? Whoa.